Day 3 of our 12 days of culture. Today, we're talking about behaviors. So there's always a culture. You can choose to influence it or take your chances. If you choose to influence it, you need to design your culture. There are 4 fundamentals. There's the foundations, focus, practices, and structures. So behavior is a component of the foundations of a culture, one of the 3 components. We talked in day 1 and day 2 about the other 2 components of foundations. So now, what is the what, why, and how of behaviors? So what are behaviors? Behaviors is when we take our values and we turn them into everyday actions. Values are quite broad words. And this is us taking those words and translating them into something that we want people to do, how we want them to live and show up and act every day in the company. Why would you go about defining your behaviors? So values tend to be words or statements, but they can mean different things to different people. And if there is gaps, we're human, we'll fill in the gaps ourselves and we'll decide how that value should show up. So it really brings clarity and consistency and takes away any ambiguity around how we want the values to show up. It also brings real clarity on which behaviors we want to reward and see more of, and which behaviors we want to tackle because they don't reflect our culture. It also defines how we want our brand promise to show up. What kind of experience do you want your customers to have, and what kind of experience do you want our employees to have? So how do you go about it? Actually, let's take some examples before we go any further. Netflix is they have 7 values. This is a company we all know, and one of their 7 values is selflessness. And they have defined their behaviors as you seek out what is best for Netflix rather than best for yourself or the group. So really focus on what's best for the company, not to use an individual or as a team. Really nice, very, very clear, and helps you see what you need to reward and what behaviors you need to tackle. Here at Hello, we have 4 values. One of ours is impact. If we take that one, what behaviors have we defined? So we have defined we don't shy away from real issues. So this is a tough one for us to live, but when we are with customers, we are really holding up the mirror and sometimes taking on that elephant that's in the room. Or we select our solutions for maximum impact, or our solutions are practical and implementable. So we want our solutions to be easy to use, they are practical and implementable, and not fluffy like a lot of culture stuff can be. One of our construction clients, we have defined with them what we do, what we don't do for each of their values. Really simple, really clear, and has really raised the bar for their performance reviews. Another manufacturing client, one of theirs is we are brave. That can mean different things to different people. What they have defined and what we do, for example, is we own our mistakes, very brave, and we learn from them so we don't repeat them. So it is really clear, teachable and measurable, very, very clear. So how do you go about setting your behaviors? So if you've gone about setting your values, you will already have a lot of the golden nuggets that help you define what are the behaviors that we want and what are the behaviors we don't want. A quick test for you is, are they teachable and measurable? So for every behavior you come with, say, could we teach someone to do that? And is it measurable? Asking questions like, what are the behaviors we want to promote? What are the behaviors we want repeated? What were the behaviors that we'll reward in this company, and what are the behaviors that will need to tackle to really try and weed out? And what do we want? What behaviors do we want our people dealing with customers? How do we want them to show up? And how do we want people to treat each other every day? So behaviors. Thank you. Day 3.